History unfolds as an intriguing narrative of triumphs and tragedies, but within its pages hide the captivating whispers of the darkest historical episodes, rarely addressed in conventional education. This video reveals the most terrible historical facts that have been silenced, from sinister events to hidden conspiracies, challenging our understanding of humanity and highlighting how the omission of these stories affects our perception of the world. Number 1. In 1518, in the picturesque city of Strasbourg, a peculiar phenomenon known as the dancing plague arose. A woman, called Signora Trappa, left her house and began dancing in the street. What started as a solo performance turned into a strange spectacle, with more people joining the contagious dance fever. The authorities, bewildered and concerned, tried various unconventional treatments, such as housing those affected in a building with live music, but the dancing persisted. Finally, they decided to take the dancers out of the city, a drastic measure that miraculously stopped the spread of the strange disease. This phenomenon was not unique, as similar outbreaks were documented in the 14th century in France, in the 15th century in Belgium, and in the 19th century in Madagascar. Although several theories have been proposed, the exact cause of this mysterious dance, which could be related to food poisoning from a fungus called ergot, remains an enigma to scientists. Number 2. Cleopatra II, the last ruler of ancient Egypt, is often portrayed as a captivating Egyptian queen, but her lineage has Macedonian Greek roots, linking it to Ptolemy, a general in the ranks of Alexander the Great. Although her ancestry is not Egyptian, Cleopatra stands out for embracing Egyptian culture, even delving into learning the language. Her ability to merge her Greek heritage with Egyptian traditions adds complexity to her historical figure, highlighting how she navigated cultural boundaries. Cleopatra thus becomes a fascinating example of multifaceted cultural identity and history, leaving an indelible mark on the historical panorama. Number 3. There is a widespread misconception about the height of Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French emperor. Many believe that he was short, around 5 feet 2 inches, but this idea is based on a misunderstanding. The confusion arose because the measurement was originally recorded in French feet, which turned out to be longer than English feet when converted to the English system. Napoleon's true height was about 5 feet 7 inches, actually above the average height of men in France in his time. The misinterpretation was further complicated by British cartoons that exaggerated his short stature, perpetuating the misconception. This common misconception about Napoleon's height highlights how prejudices and errors can become ingrained in our historical narratives. It underscores the importance of questioning popular beliefs and delving into historical accounts to uncover the truth behind seemingly trivial details. Number 4. George Washington's story goes beyond his renowned prowess as the inaugural leader of the United States. Although he is a supreme emblem of American identity, there is a lesser-known chapter about his dental health in his early adulthood. At age 20, Washington faced a mysterious affliction that caused him to lose his teeth one by one. When he became president in 1789, he had only one tooth left. Recognizing the importance of his appearance, Washington consulted Dr. John Greenwood, a pioneer in dentistry. Contrary to popular belief that Washington's dentures were made of wood, Greenwood created them using hippopotamus bones, elephant bones, ivory, and even human bones, anchored by a gold plate. These custom dentures allowed Washington to articulate his speeches with confidence. Today, replicas of his dentures are displayed in museums in Baltimore and New York, tangibly connecting the past and present. Number 5. The Statue of Liberty, an iconic symbol of freedom in the harbor, is commonly associated with immigration due to its location near Ellis Island, historic for immigrants. However, its origins tell a different story. Initially conceived to embody the spirit of the Enlightenment, it carries a torch symbolizing the illumination of knowledge and a tablet marking the date of American independence. This gift from France commemorates the centenary of independence and strengthens the friendship between the two nations. The connection between freedom and immigration deepened when Emma Lazarus wrote The New Colossus, a poem found on the statue's pedestal. Freedom became the protective mother of the exiles, expanding the narrative beyond symbolism. This exploration of the statue's history reminds us that our historical perception can be shaped by misconceptions and urges us to approach historical narratives with a discerning eye that recognizes their intricate layers. Number 6. The Romans accomplished something remarkable in their time with their complex system of aqueducts and plumbing. Although it was not an original invention, it was perfected and became an outstanding feat of engineering. They built extensive systems of lead and clay pipes, sewers, and aqueducts that were notable for their engineering prowess. Recognized for their contributions to public health and sanitation, the Romans pioneered sophisticated systems. Their advanced plumbing is reflected in monumental aqueducts designed to carry water long distances to cities. Rome, for example, depended on 11 aqueducts to supply water to public baths, fountains, and homes, maintaining a crucial role in public sanitation. They also created sewer systems, including the famous Cloaca Maxima, one of the oldest in the world. Despite these achievements, they knowingly used lead pipes, evidencing a misunderstanding of the health risks. This use could have contributed to lead poisoning, and some speculate its connection to the decline of the Roman Empire. The unintended consequences of lead pipes serve as a lesson in the importance of considering potential downsides to technological progress. Now, let's talk about Egypt, a land full of history, mystery, and great legacies that transport us to ancient times. From the iconic pyramids to ancient traditions, Egypt is a fascinating enigma waiting to be discovered. The secrets of the Book of the Dead. Recently in Egypt, an exciting discovery was found in the Sahara Cemetery, a funerary temple of Queen Nit, located near the pyramid of her husband, Pharaoh Tet, who ruled between 2323 BC and 2323 BC and 2291 BC. The temple is made of stone and has mud brick warehouses where offerings were kept to honor Queen Nit and Pharaoh Tet. Burial pits were also found near the pyramid with remains of people from the 18th and 19th dynasties. In one of the pits, a 13-meter scroll with Chapter 17 of the Book of the Dead, an ancient manual for the afterlife, was found. In addition, funerary masks, a sanctuary dedicated to Anubis, and statues of this god were discovered. Ancient games were also found, probably intended for the deceased in the afterlife. Researchers are studying the newly found Chapter 17 to see if it follows the same question-and-answer format as other copies of the Book of the Dead. Details of the construction of the Great Pyramid. In 2013, French and Egyptian archaeologists made an important find in a cave in Wadi el-Jarf, an ancient Red Sea port. They found hundreds of fragments of inscribed papyri, which turned out to be the oldest found in Egypt. Pierre Tallet and Gregory Merard, Egyptologists, published their findings in 2014. The papyri included a record from the 27th year of the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, which detailed the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The record, written in hieroglyphics by Maya, an inspector, was more than 4,500 years old. Maya meticulously documented the construction operations and the transportation of limestones by boat across the Nile River. He also mentioned that Anajef, Khufu's half-brother, supervised the project. Other records detailed projects such as the construction of a port in the Mediterranean Sea. These papyri are solid evidence that the construction of the pyramids was the work of humans, and not aliens. A historical pandemic, the plague of Cyprian. During an excavation in Luxor between 1997 and 2012, evidence of the plague of Cyprian, an ancient pandemic that affected the Roman Empire in the 3rd century AD, was found. This find included pottery and other artifacts that coincided with the outbreak of the plague in that period. The pandemic, named after Bishop Saint Cyprian, was documented in historical records and caused a large number of deaths in Rome between 250 and 266 AD. The discovery not only shed light on history, but also boosted research into infectious diseases, such as hemorrhagic fevers such as Ebola, contributing to medical advancement. These findings, along with ancient Egyptian texts, have had a profound impact on education and science throughout history, demonstrating how the knowledge of past civilizations continues to influence our world today. Ancient portraits of mummies. In a cemetery in the historic city of Philadelphia, Egypt, archaeologists have unearthed ancient mummies. Philadelphia originated in Ptolemaic times, when Egypt was under the rule of the dynasty of pharaohs descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals. Despite the changes in power, the city continued to prosper. Recent excavations at the Philadelphia cemetery have revealed 2 completely intact mummy portraits, along with some partially complete and incomplete ones. These portraits were expensive and realistic, indicating that the people buried here probably belonged to the upper middle class or elite of the time. They were created by artists from Alexandria. This finding highlights the similarities and shared experiences over time, connecting us to our ancient ancestors. One of the most notable finds is an ancient box that is more than 3,500 years old. One day, a group of scientists was exploring this area in search of archaeological objects that would help them discover something surprising and unique. At first, they thought it was a large rock, but after cleaning it, it turned out to be an ancient archaeological box containing various objects and artifacts. As you can see, inside the box were some antiques and old household tools. This discovery left scientists amazed as it was considered one of the most important chance discoveries. Another fascinating discovery was a tunnel that spans 4,300 feet in length. Many scientists believe that this tunnel could lead to the lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra. Furthermore, its unique design has caused fear and amazement among those who have attempted to explore it. To this day, scientists continue to investigate inside this tunnel in the hope of discovering new secrets. Finally, a team of Spanish researchers arrived in Egypt with the aim of unearthing ancient archaeological objects. Their work led them to the discovery of an ancient cemetery that has been listed as the oldest in the world. It is said that the entrance to this cemetery was aligned with the sun's rays, causing them to shine at its entrance. In addition, a representation of the god was found in this place, and it is believed that the orientation of the sun's rays towards the tomb corridor symbolized the easy passage to the afterlife. Lastly, we have the statue of Queen Nefertiti, whose name means beauty has come. She was the wife of the famous pharaoh Amenhotep IV, who belonged to the 18th dynasty. Tutankhamun considered her one of the most powerful women in ancient Egypt. Nefertiti lived for a short period after her husband's death, and Tutankhamun helped her take over as her queen. During her husband's rule, this beautiful queen resided in high status. This statue of Nefertiti, which is more than 3,000 years old, is said to have been preserved to an incomparable degree. The paint on the statue has also endured. The statue is still in its original state, confirming the pharaoh's skill in sculpting and painting over the years. A peculiar phenomenon found in most statues is the broken nose, the Sphinx being one of the most notable examples. In the ancient pharaonic civilization, it was common for the nose of many of these statues to be broken or destroyed, for reasons still unknown. Some believe that this may have been because the nose was the most vulnerable and easily damaged part by thieves and looters entering Egypt. During some invasions throughout this period, it has been argued that the nose was considered the source of oxygen that provides life to the human body. Therefore, it was believed in the past that the spirit of the pharaoh inhabited the statue that had been sculpted for him. As a result, pharaohs often attempted to destroy the statue's nose to prevent the pharaoh's spirit from returning, reviving his life in the statue. In 2020, a discovery was made that aroused the curiosity and admiration of many scholars. A group of colorful coffins was found. It is said that each coffin had a different color, and this color represented something specific. Some owners of these coffins wanted their coffins to show their true image, so they chose to color them this way. This discovery became one of the most wonderful discoveries that attracted numerous tourists from different countries to visit them. In a tomb in the desert, about 30 kilometers south of Cairo, a group of scientists discovered around 100 coffins and about 14 statues made of gold in the Sahara Desert. Some of these coffins even contained the bodies of the pharaohs inside, making it a significant discovery that helped scientists. In 1922, a group of researchers managed to obtain many answers to the questions they had about a musical instrument that belonged to Pharaoh Tutankhamun, known as the trumpet. These musical instruments were used in some ceremonies and were made of wood, silver, copper or sometimes bronze. This demonstrates the skill of the ancient pharaohs in music and making musical instruments that are still used today. Now a groundbreaking discovery has been made. A city that has been celebrated as one of Egypt's most notable finds of the last century. This discovery promises to shed new light on ancient Egypt and reveal hidden secrets from its past. So what exactly does this discovery reveal about this ancient civilization, and what mysteries does it contain? Let's delve into the details to find out. Graham Hancock, a leading figure in the field of archaeology and history, has made significant contributions to our understanding of ancient civilizations. He has made a compelling argument that a lost civilization thrived about 12,500 years ago, during a period of dramatic post-Ice Age global climate changes. This climate change had profound effects on life across the planet, and the survivors of this tumultuous era spread across the globe, laying the foundation for subsequent human generations. Hancock's theories about these forgotten civilizations have gained widespread attention, so much so that they have been featured in a Netflix series hosted by the archaeologist himself. This 8-part series takes viewers on an extraordinary journey to various exotic locations around the world, including Egypt, Peru, and Indonesia. Along the way, Graham Hancock reveals remains of ancient civilizations, from cities buried in the Egyptian desert to the fascinating site of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. This series establishes a deep connection between the past and the present, showcasing the enduring mysteries of our world's history. The 5th episode of the series, titled Legacy of the Sages, serves as a cornerstone of Graham Hancock's theories on ancient civilizations. It addresses the enigmatic site of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which stands out as significantly older than any other known megalithic structure in the world. This episode highlights many of Hancock's ideas, highlighting the existence of advanced civilizations lost to history, civilizations that appear to have achieved notable advances before their time. Another compelling example of such a civilization is the Harappan civilization, which thrived in the Indus Valley. The Harappans left well-documented evidence of their achievements, including impressive feats such as indoor plumbing and a sophisticated sewage system. They also built large public buildings that resemble meeting rooms or even Senate buildings. Despite these notable advances, the reasons behind civilization's abandonment remain a mystery, illustrating how ancient civilizations often leave us with more questions than answers. While some ancient cities, such as Göbekli Tepe, raise questions about why they were abandoned, others, such as the royal metropolis recently discovered by Egyptologist Zahi Hawass and his team, provide invaluable information about the past. This 3,400-year-old site, located north of modern Luxor, revealed secrets of one of ancient Egypt's most prosperous eras, shedding light on the achievements and sophistication of that civilization. The excavation led to the surprising discovery of an exceptionally well-preserved city, with its walls and rooms in surprisingly good condition, and containing a large number of everyday tools and artifacts. Several distinct neighborhoods have been revealed within the city, including an administrative district, a bakery, and a residential area. This important discovery, hidden beneath the sands of Egypt, was known as the ancient city of Saldathan or the Rise of Aten. Betsy Bryan, a professor of Egyptology at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, United States, has described the discovery of this lost city as the second most important archaeological find since the revelation of Tutankhamun's tomb. She emphasized that the city presents a unique opportunity to gain insights into the daily lives of ancient Egyptians during a period of unparalleled wealth and prosperity. When the empire was at its peak, the excavation produced a trove of valuable archaeological artifacts, including colorful pottery, jewelry, mud bricks with seals of Amenhotep III, scarabs, and scarab amulets. The archaeological team began its excavation on the west bank of Luxor, near the Valley of the Kings, approximately 500 kilometers south of Cairo. Within weeks, they discovered mud brick formations stretching in various directions. Hieroglyphic inscriptions found on wine vessel lids at the site have allowed experts to date the city to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, who ruled during the 18th dynasty, between 1386 and 1353 BC. The reign of Amenhotep III was characterized by tranquility and prosperity, marking the peak of Egypt's international influence. He is often called Amenhotep the Magnificent or Amenhotep the Great. Towards the end of his reign, Amenhotep III began to share power with his eldest son, who would later be known as Amenhotep IV. After the death of his father, the young Amenhotep embarked on a dramatic transformation of Egypt by abandoning all Egyptian deities except the sun god Aten. He changed his name from Amenhotep IV to Akhenaten, which translates as dedicated to Aten. Furthermore, he presided over the emergence of a new artistic movement with his wife Nefertiti, and moved the royal capital of Egypt from Thebes to a new city called Akhetaten, now known as Amarna. In addition to the bakery and administrative section, an area dedicated to the production of mud bricks was discovered during the excavation. Within this area, an intriguing find was made: the skeleton of a cow or bull next to a human skeleton in an unusual posture, with its arms extended along the body and evidence of a rope around its knees. Although ancient Egyptian customs are known to have included various types of sacrifice, including animal offerings, the presence of a human skeleton suggests the possibility of human sacrifice in the city. Additionally, the archaeological team discovered a container containing approximately 2 gallons of dried or boiled meat with inscriptions that read year 1337. The inscriptions provided the names of 2 individuals associated with the city. When translated, the inscriptions indicate meat dressed for the 3rd Hebsed festival from the Kaha Corral slaughterhouse, made by the butcher Lewis. This translation offers insight into the lives of 2 inhabitants of the ancient city, Lewis, the butcher, and the person who placed the order. Despite the challenges of its time, this provides insight into a bygone era characterized by genuine human connections and community life. Excavations at ancient sites often reveal a treasure trove of historical knowledge, from secrets hidden in buried scrolls to ancient clay tablets favored by Mesopotamian and Babylonian ancestors. Mesopotamia, often considered the cradle of civilization, continues to provide surprising findings that align with the work and claims of scholars such as Graham Hancock. Being the birthplace of civilization, Mesopotamia constantly surprises archaeologists with its advanced knowledge. One of these archaeological sites is located in Gursu, located in present-day south-central Iraq. This city, an important center in the ancient Sumerian civilization of Mesopotamia, has a history dating back more than 4 millennia. Despite challenges, such as early excavation methods causing damage and treasure hunters searching for objects to sell illegally, scientists have made important discoveries at Gursu in the last century. One of the notable finds is the Stele of the Vultures, a monument composed of stone slabs depicting various battles and religious scenes. Additionally, recent excavation efforts have revealed a palace built of mud bricks that is believed to have been the main residence of Ningirsu, the deity associated with Gursu. Additionally, more than 200 cuneiform writing tablets with logosyllabic inscriptions have been discovered, providing invaluable administrative records from ancient times. As we explore the fascinating archaeological discoveries of the ancient Egyptians, we cannot overlook the wealth of equally impressive finds that have been unearthed in the vast and mysterious Sahara Desert. As we continue our journey through history and archaeology, we discover that the ancient world continues to reveal its secrets in surprising ways. The Sahara, which covers much of North Africa, including Morocco, is the best-known desert in the world. But how much do you really know about this famous setting? The Sahara is home to a variety of wildlife that has evolved to survive in one of the most difficult environments on Earth. Desert animals include cheetahs, gazelles, ostriches, fennec foxes and lizards, as well as camels and goats. The extremely venomous sand viper and the death scorpion are also other dangerous creatures that make this place their home. Recently, it was announced that researchers have made a surprising discovery in the Sahara Desert that will change everything you previously believed. What have researchers found beneath the eye of the Sahara? The Sahara, the largest hot desert on Earth and the third largest overall, spans approximately 3.6 million square miles, occupying nearly one-third of the African continent. Surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea and the Sahel Savanna, the Sahara extends across 10 countries and the Western Sahara. The desert is known for its sand dune fields, but it is also home to other terrain and a diversity of life. The region has revealed ancient artifacts that show a more prosperous history in the past. Archaeological exploration in the Sahara has revealed important discoveries, such as the ruins of the Garamantian citadel in Libya, built by the ancient Garamantian people who relied on underground tunnels for water. Although the Sahara has been the scene of mysteries and disappearances over the centuries, current technological advances have allowed us to reveal more information about its past. The Sahara has also been affected by meteorite impacts over time, leaving craters and generating sheets of green glass. The Camel crater in Egypt and meteorites scattered in the desert are examples of these cosmic collisions. Alien green glass from these impacts has been used in ancient objects, such as a breastplate in Tutankhamun's tomb. Although there is still much to discover in the Sahara, technological advances and interest in its history continue to shed light on this enigmatic desert region. The Sahara was not always a desert, as the boundaries of the sandy areas have changed over millions of years due to climate changes. Scientists are researching the history of the Sahara and have discovered evidence of an ancient river carved into an underwater canyon off the coast of Mauritania. This indicates that the world's largest drainage basin originated in the Sahara. The fluvial sediments and remains of this river support the theory that the Sahara had an aquatic presence in the past. A recent study reveals that in the past, the Sahara was home to enormous marine animals, some of which were giant and terrifying aquatic monsters. This discovery, supported by evidence, shows that the Trans-Sahara Seaway, a prehistoric body of water, flooded areas of West Africa between 150 million years ago. For 2 decades, scientists studied soil and fossils in Mali to better understand its prehistoric environment. They discovered that an ancient warm, shallow body of water was home to 12-meter sea snakes and 1.5-meter catfish, with the largest catfish measuring 160 centimeters. At that time, there were numerous top predators, such as crocodiles and giant snakes, in this prehistoric ecology. This ancient body of water, known as the Saharan Inner Sea, connected regions that are modern-day Algeria and Nigeria. The isolation of this body of water may have reduced the presence of predators and ensured constant resources, allowing the species to spread uncontrollably. This isolated environment may have promoted selection for gigantism in aquatic species, similar to what was observed on terrestrial islands. The Sahara has undergone a significant transformation since those days of aquatic life. In the past, the desert was home to giant creatures, such as Macromosaurus rex, a 9-meter-long crocodile, which is the largest carnivorous dinosaur discovered. This marine crocodile lived in a large lagoon that extended into the Tethys Ocean, where it hunted fish and sea turtles using its enormous head and powerful bite force. It is also possible that it fed on the bodies of other giant animals that lived in that area. Aquatic life forms are being discovered in the Sahara because the desert is so inhospitable that paleontologists can walk freely through eroded places without obstacles. Spinosaurus is the largest known carnivorous dinosaur. It lived about 95 million years ago and was larger than the T-Rex. It had unique adaptations, such as a bony sail on its back, and is considered the only known semi-aquatic dinosaur. Another group of fossils found in Morocco allowed for a more complete study of Spinosaurus, as the bones from the original discovery were destroyed in World War II. Its long, flat legs and high nostrils indicate its adaptation to water. The sail on his back must have been impressive to ancient people who lived near bodies of water. In the Sahara, the largest human burial was found at the Gobros site in Niger. During 2 years of excavation, around 200 skeletons were discovered, revealing 2 periods of occupation separated by more than 1,000 years. Objects found, such as arrowheads and bone jewelry, indicate that these people probably hunted in nearby bodies of water. Although some burials were unique, such as a man sitting on fragments of turtle shell, there is still much we don't know about their lives and deaths. More than 100 million years ago, an explosion in the Sahara gave rise to the enigmatic Eye of the Sahara. This phenomenon formed when molten rock caused limestone to collapse, forming a rock called a breccia. As time passed, erosion completed the process, creating the Eye of the Sahara with its concentric rings. This geological marker stands out in the middle of the sandy desert. The Eye of the Sahara has generated intriguing theories, such as the possibility that it is the site of the legendary Atlantis, a civilization described by Plato. Similarities between the structure of the Eye of the Sahara and epic descriptions of Atlantis have sparked speculation. According to the narrative of Atlantis, this advanced civilization suffered a tragic end due to its arrogance and conflicts with the Athenians. In the midst of wars and natural disasters unleashed by the gods, Atlantis sank into the sea and disappeared forever. These discoveries in the Sahara continue to challenge scientists and remind us that there is still much to learn about the history and geology of this vast desert region. The Eye of the Sahara is an impressive testimony of past geological events and invites us to reflect on the mysteries and legends that still exist in humanity. The Eye of the Sahara, visible from space, is like a large target and began to emerge when the supercontinent Pangaea broke apart. Different types of rocks, such as carbonates and black basalt, are embedded in the eye, similar to the rock formations in Hawaii. Although the origins of the Sahara Eye remain a mystery, its presence in the desert fascinates scientists and explorers alike. Plato used the story of Atlantis as a parable to convey his ideologies, similar to how the movie Avatar warns about racism and corporate greed. Atlantis was described as a land divided into zones of water and land, an arrangement that coincides with the Eye of the Sahara today. The adjacent mountains were considered sacred and symbolized the divine. The rivers and water lines that cross the eye can be seen in satellite photographs. Ancient artifacts such as ship hulls, surfboards, and spears have been found both inside and outside the Rikhat structure, estimated to date to the Atlantean era. Although Solon and Plato were respected for their integrity, the history of Atlantis has been the subject of controversy. Surprisingly, on Wikipedia and other sources, pages related to Atlantis, the Eye, King Atlas, and the god Poseidon are blocked. This raises questions about the omission of this generally accepted belief. Like the city of Troy, which was considered a myth until its discovery, more evidence needs to be considered before stating with certainty that the Eye of the Sahara is the site of Atlantis.